You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a
Hey,
Q.
Froggy.
Well, thank you, Brett. A source familiar with the draft described it as detailed, extensive, and thorough in the ballpark of several hundred pages. The timeline for its release is fluid but firming up, with tentative dates on the calendar for public congressional testimony from Inspector General Michael E. Horowitz the week of June 4th or June 11th. While the Inspector General's office is not commenting on the findings, the source said there is evidence of potential criminal behavior, though Fox News has not confirmed reports of at least one referral. When Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe was fired for lying to federal investigators, he told the Inspector General that he disagreed with the findings, arguing that his boss, FBI Director James Comey, knew about his engagement with the Wall Street Journal. McCabe claimed Comey wanted to distance himself from media disclosures because McCabe believed Comey was being investigated as a leaker. Comey was pressed on the allegation in his Fox interview.
Did the Inspector General interview you about your handling of the memos?
Sure, yeah.
Has
already. And I expect a report from them, not on the handling of classified information, because that's frivolous, but on, did I comply with policy? Did I comply with my employment agreement?
The IG's report began 16 months ago with bipartisan support, Brett.
Catherine, what's the latest with the House efforts to obtain these documents from the DOJ and FBI?
Well, Fox News is told that the Republican committee chairman and their teams are done meeting with the Justice Department about records, and with a subpoena in effect, the onus, they believe, is on the DOJ and FBI to make the records available. A senior Justice Department official said they had offered the Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes and the Oversight Committee Chairman Trey Gowdy a meeting today with Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, FBI Director Christopher Wray, senior intelligence officials, but lawmakers did not respond.
I think that invitation was just to come and talk again. We have asked for documents, 46,000 documents that Justice has told us we're entitled to get. We've received 9,000 over the last 6 months. At that pace, we'll be into the second term of President Trump.
The House Speaker continues to back the committee's request for records, Brett.
Welcome to the Patriot Hour. I'm Michael, your host for 5/20/18. It's Sunday afternoon, just a little afternoon. Big news going on there, folks. Positive in my view. So again, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Maybe after the video, like, comment, drop us an email. Take a look in the description box. We always leave typically the link to the QAnon, at least, so you can get to some of these links or articles that we'll go over. So no new Q updates at this minute. QAnon, Q clearance, breadcrumbs drops. Did want to take a look at this photo here, right? So this is an interesting way this channel works. In the last several months, just getting better at, reading them, presenting it in a, good way to you guys for you guys to hear it. And then all the comments. And I had said yesterday on the fly, because some of these were new, and I was like, oh, there's a, White House pin, maybe the memo that we had saw in a few drops earlier. And I was like, some scribble there. And then comments were pouring in. That's no scribble. That's Trump's signature. So 1421 here. All right, came yesterday, 1741, 5:41 p.m. Eastern Standard. And this here, I got it blown up already. That's the lower spot, right? And then here's some Trump signatures I've pulled up. All right. So we see this at the end here, the line coming, a little bit of. So it was interesting that you guys, I'm learning from you as well. That's what I said from the get-go on this. As part of it, this channel, I'll read them, give maybe a little bit of what I think or what comes across to my mind, dots I've put together, and then you guys are doing it down below in the thousands of comments So I appreciate it, and that's what it's about. Together, we're going over these and we're learning them. People are, a lot of you out there are just, you got it going on. You've done your research, so I'm not shaking a stick. Maybe that's how it works, moving forward. You got, somebody that has the means like myself with the computer and some of the software that I've learned, taking the time, and you guys are taking the time to watch it, feedback. It leads me to reading, other people are reading it, and then we all shoot off and go investigate. That's awesome. So appreciate it, and this is exactly what it's all about. So I found that very interesting as well. And that's not the first time. So that was just a more notable one here, folks. That was great. All right, I wanted to look at Donald J. Trump official Twitter at the real Donald Trump. So 12 minutes ago, we just had an interesting one here. I hereby demand and will do so officially tomorrow that the Department of Justice look into whether or not the FBI DOJ infiltrated or surveilled the Trump campaign for political purposes. And if any such demands or requests were made by people within the Obama administration, were made by the people within the Obama administration. That's huge, folks. That's exactly what we've been saying. We do now know that they had a mole, the FBI had a mole in the Trump campaign. And here's my theory on that. As much as the FBI, these other police forces love to have moles and rats, and if you know something, it's your duty to get a hold of them, and that's how a lot of crimes are solved. Well, if you guys had this Carter Page and he had been known to be a Russian, or you had interviewed him years before he ever was affiliated with the Trump, isn't it your due diligence to, because we know this guy never really met with Trump. He somehow weaseled his way in and sat in a few photo ops, or somehow got close to Trump a few times. But, if you guys are a known guy like that, it would be courtesy of you to come to the Trump people and say, hey, this guy that's trying to get in is, a couple years back, he's not a good guy. It's like the due diligence or, favor works both ways. That's the way I look at that, unless it was done on purpose. Nefarious reasons, just like they're doing now. So it's very interesting. They expect it to happen for them, but then they don't return the favor. And things I've read, Trump did this back in the, early, late 70s, early 80s when he was building his, I've done a video over it, his casino, Atlantic City. He went to the FBI and told them about a whole deal. If I build down here, the mob is going to infiltrate. Maybe I let the mob come in, and you guys can come here and work as well. And that's, and they're like, that's a good idea. You laid out a whole idea, and they said, if you decide to build, come back to us. And we know that he built several years later, in like 83 or 84, started, breaking ground. So we know that deal went forward. To come out and say a guy, and then this whole story came out on the Carter page. But anyway, the mole, we don't know who, people are doing the work now, trying to go over everything, find out who this mole FBI informant was. They placed him in the Trump campaign. Big news, folks, big news. All right, so Donald J. Trump. So we got Eric Trump, Donald J. Trump retweeted. It's an emotional day being back at St. Jude in celebration of our dear friend Colin. He was a beautiful child who we will all remember forever. We will win the fight against pediatric cancer. 40 minutes ago, Donald J. Trump. The witch hunt finds no collusion with Russia, so now they're looking at the rest of the world. Oh, great. 4 hours ago. We have to read this one in two-part. Whatever happened to the server at the center of so much corruption that the Democratic National Committee, DNC, refused to hand over to the hard-charging, except in the case of Democrats, FBI. They broke into homes and offices early in the morning, but were afraid to take a server? And why hasn't the Podesta brother been charged and arrested like others after being forced to close down his very large and very successful firm? I added the very and successful firm. Is it because he is very well-connected Democrat working in the swamp of Washington, D.C.? Those are both 4 hours ago. Got a couple more here to read, folks. These are kind of good. Now that the witch hunt has given up on Russia and is looking at the rest of the world, they should easily be able to take it into the midterm elections, where they can put some hurt on the Republican Party. Don't worry about Dems' FISA abuse, missing emails, or fraudulent dossier. Another two-parter here, I think. At which point does this soon-to-be $20 million witch hunt, composed of 13 angry and heavily conflicted Democrats and 2 people who have worked for Obama for 8 years, stop? They have found no collusion with Russia, no obstruction, but they aren't looking at the corruption. In the Hillary Clinton campaign, where she deleted 33,000 emails, got 145 million while Secretary of State, paid McCabe's wife 700,000, and got off the FBI hook along with Terry M. And so much more. Republicans and real Americans should start getting tough on this scam. He's been unloading, folks. Things are getting real ridiculous. The failing and crooked, but not crooked as Hillary Clinton, New York Times has done a long and boring story indicating that the world's most expensive witch hunt has found nothing on Russia and me, so now they're looking at the rest of the world. Okay. That's enough, I think. Wow. It's getting real, folks. Everything he's now texting about lines up with several Q posts, some in the past, some recent. I think it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks here, for sure. Everyone's thinking, again, it's a movie. Where's this? Where's that? People are resigning. The list that we're going over. Think differently. Just think differently, folks. It's, we're not going to see one by one arrest. Maybe some slow ones here, but supposedly it's going to be all real quick, all at the same time. So whether people are able to step away at the time, or they were forced or fired, we'll see. We'll see how, I think, again, no matter where they go, they know. Everything was thought out, every detail. At this point, I believe every single detail, more than what most of us could ever even imagine. All we can do is kind of come up with our best guess. Because I never even thought, I thought it would take 50 to 60 years to do everything. Everything I knew after 17 plus years of research, in my own head, it came to a conclusion of, wow, it'll take 50, 60 years to do it. But I guess they came up with a way that they're going to do it in a few years. So that's awesome. That would take the power of the president, because I thought, again, I never even went that angle. I thought, well, I did, but it was more, any man that would try to rise up to do the right thing, take back this country, would be deemed a terrorist in a matter of minutes. And they blast your face with the media, show you pumping some gas, some photos they have of you, and this man's considered armed and dangerous, and you're done. But not if you're the president, and not if you have control, and you have everything. And you have those tools that were used to be of somewhat evil in your pocket to be able to obtain what you need and spin it right around on these folks. So good for them if that is the true case. That's just awesome. All right, folks, we'll close it up here. We're at the 16 minute mark. I thought that was some interesting information that you guys needed to know. And again, I appreciate it. The Patriot Hour appreciates it. And we'll be back here real soon with some updates. Any new Q Anon, Q clearance, we'll get them out. We'll get them read to you. We'll break them down, keep moving forward like we have been. So we appreciate it. God bless, Godspeed, and have a great afternoon, evening to each and every one of you. We'll see you back here real soon.
You know what letter that is, Grover?
I think so.
What letter is this?
Q.
Q. This is indeed a
You found it.